Okay guys, welcome back, hopefully, and welcome to day 13. Yeah, 13. Sorry, so today is going to be not too long of a video. I know that, over 10 minutes of hearing me talk can sometimes be a little much. So, today I want to talk a little bit, kind of like Saturday, in the sense of about something that really has more to do with me than it does the events of Chrissy and me. But it does obviously involve her. Anyway, around the time of my birthday, we had been, hanging out, and eventually we got to talking about the book that I had written, or started writing. We, Chrissy had read it, a little bit of it, even before we started dating, actually, but, back then in 2009, I believe I finished the first draft by then, and I just let it sit. I let it, I just put it on the back burner because I didn't want to do anything with it. And, we were talking about it, and, she brought up the point. She was like, are you ever gonna, do anything with it? Are you gonna edit it? Are you gonna, do anything, make it better so that maybe, pitch it to someone, maybe eventually, actually release it, actually do something with it? And I was like, at the time, in 2009, I obviously still loved to write, as I do now, but back then, I didn't really care much about, showing it off to the world, in the sense that all I wanted at the time was to write something just to show that I can write it, that, that I don't give up on something. And just finishing the first draft for me was already such a big deal, because I had never really finished an entire book, writing an entire book, I should say, at the time. And so, I kept telling her, I was like, no, it's nothing, or it's never gonna really amount to anything. And she was like, she just kept pushing. She just, she told me, she's like, look, I understand that you want to take some time off with it because you spent so much time on it. I had started writing 8 Minutes around 2007, because it was a year after I graduated. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I started writing a book in 2007 based on the events that happened to me in high school. And it, it took me such a long time. It took me, 2 years at least to finish the first draft. And, she was like, look, if you're not going to do anything with it, at least let me read it. I've never read the entire thing. And, I was like, that's fine, go ahead. Because, like her, not even just her, I had shown off bits and pieces to some of my friends. But I never let anyone read the whole thing because I didn't really want anyone to read it. That's not completely true. I didn't mind if people read my book. It was just, I didn't really care in the sense that, like I said, not only did I just want something to have finished it, if one person had read it and just been like, that's really cool, and that's all I really wanted. I never really wanted, especially with the first thing I ever written, I never really wanted anything else with it. I never wanted to, shop it around or anything. I never wanted to re-edit it into something else. But yeah, so I was like, whatever, just take it. And so it took her a couple days, but eventually Chrissy came back to me and she was like, she was like, I don't understand why you don't want to do anything with this. This is really good. And I like I said, I didn't really care, but I was like, I don't understand what you're so confused about. And she's like, you can't just like write something and just keep it to yourself. That's not, I mean, you can, but like, Chrissy was always the one to push stuff, which is one of the reasons why I was so drawn to her after a while, especially after we became friends. And I would say that it's one of the reasons why, despite us still not being together to this day, at this day, I should say, that it's something that I take from her that I feel has definitely influenced my life. What I mean by that is like, eventually, after countless pushing, eventually I did pick it up again. I did start editing it again, and if you don't know, I should say, then here in 2014, even though I never finished the book, I had gotten to the third edition, I would say, I think the third rewrite, and I turned it into I decided, instead of finishing writing it as a book, I decided to flip it into a web project in the hopes of turning it into something like, say like a web series or even a TV series if it possible. And I don't think I would have ever been able to do that if it weren't for Chrissy, if it weren't for her, telling me that I need to do something more than just, just write and just be happy just writing. Because, I think she put it best when she told me, she's like, look, I know you love writing, I know you love reading. Imagine what would happen to you if some of your favorite authors decided to just write a book and just leave it on the, leave it in their personal possession, never release it to anyone. And that's why I was like, yeah, I understand. I'm not trying to say that, I'm an amazing author. I'm not even an author, technically, in my mind. I mean, I've never published a book, but just, I think like the moral of what I'm trying to talk about today is that in 2009, it's definitely before I met Chrissy, and sometimes I like to think even until recently that that you always have to have a drive in life, and that's what I've taken from that. Not even just from that one instance. I mean, she did that like the whole time we were together, and it's something that I think about today. That it's hard to have a meaningful life if you never push yourself, if you never have a drive to do something. And that's why, I eventually pushed myself mentally to keep going with 8 minutes, even if it wasn't going to turn out to be a book. I wanted it to turn out to be something. And even like to today, like flash forward to like 2014, where I finally have been given the drive to, not even just push myself mentally, but push myself physically to get back into shape again. And that's just another one of the reasons why I really loved Chrissy, and definitely one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, wanted to do these vlogs, and why why I feel that our relationship had such a positive impact in my life despite what happened, which I'll get to in the later days. But yeah, that's all I have for today. If you've been watching these vlogs, thank you, definitely from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And if you like it, maybe, and if you know anyone that might like these videos, go ahead, definitely share. And until next time, see ya.